Hi, and welcome to the To Be Read podcast, where we give honest reviews on viral books that you might see on social media and popular book review websites. This is Chris.
And Garrison. And on today's episode, we will be discussing The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. So cozy on in and let's see if you should add this book to your TBR shelf. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this long-awaited episode of us discussing The Assassin's Blade. It has been quite the past couple months. Yeah, it's been a little over a month since we uploaded. We were supposed to record this last week, and then I was sick, so...
And the
here we
week
are now.
before, and I fell asleep.
It's fine. Also my son has been sick basically since school started, so it's been a hot second. But we're back, and we're very excited to talk about this episode. I'm just gonna go ahead and read the synopsis off of Goodreads, and then we'll talk about what our thoughts are. So, here we go. The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Celaena Sardothien is her kingdom's most feared assassin. Though she works for the powerful and ruthless Assassin's Guild, Celaena yields to no one and trusts only her fellow killer for hire, Sam. When Celaena's scheming master, Orobian Hamel, dispatches her on missions that take her from remote islands to hostile deserts, she finds herself acting independently of his wishes and questioning her own allegiance. Along the way, she makes friends and enemies alike and discovers that she feels far more for Sam than just friendship. But by defying Orobian's orders, Celaena risks unimaginable punishment, and with Sam by her side, he is in danger too. They will have to risk it all if they hope to escape Orobian's clutches, and if they fail, they'll lose not only just a chance at freedom, but their lives. A prequel of Throne and Glass, this collection of 5 novellas offers readers a deeper look into the history of the cunning assassin and her enthralling and deadly world. In this is included The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, The Assassin and the Healer, The Assassin in the Desert, The Assassin in the Underworld, and The Assassin and the Empire.
Yeah, so let's unpack that for a second, because when people first started talking about this book and I had no idea about it, it's like little chapters just broken out into like separate books that are all piled into one book.
Yeah, it's 5 novellas, which I did not know that.
Yeah. And so when I listened to it, Kara, you read it.
I read it.
And so listening to it, that was a little confusing when you're on Audible and it's it doesn't like announce ahead of time what it's doing. And so it'll be like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And then all of a sudden it's just like a book title. And I'm like, wait, what?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started reading it, like, I just flipped through the pages and I was like, multiple chapter 1s. And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And then I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, okay, I understand now. Which, I should have understood that because literally, we should have caught this. Because literally on the cover, it says The Throne of Glass novellas. We totally missed that when we were looking at the cover of the book.
Yep.
So it's fine. It's all fine. Let's do what our rating is. So what would you rate The Assassin's Blade?
Okay, so for me, I rate it a 3.5.
Okay. I'm looking up what I rated it because I put it on my Goodreads.
I need to do that.
And I don't remember. I rated it at 4.
Okay.
And Goodreads has it at 4.22, and there's almost 800,000 ratings on it.
That's good.
So,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Do we want to first of all, let's talk about the cover, what our predictions were. We didn't really have much of a prediction because the cover doesn't really give that much. And I just remember I thought it was going to be about fairies because her other two series, she talks about the fays. Either if they're half fae or they're full-blooded or whatever. And she was not at all. The only mention of fays in this world so far is that, like, the king had basically banished and killed the fays.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure the Throne of Glass series, I'm assuming, is, like, bringing them back. Question mark?
I literally have no idea.
So, maybe that's that's where they come in. I have no idea. But, yeah, so we didn't really have much prediction. Do you know what the deer on the front of the book is for? Because I'm still confused. No?
Nope.
Awesome.
I definitely, if anybody knows, and we just completely missed it, let us know.
Yeah. Okay, so how I was thinking we would talk about it is we would talk about each novella. Like, highlights and lowlights on each novella.
Okay.
Just, like, quick points, since there's 5 of them.
Sure.
So let's start with The Pirate Lord.
Okay.
What'd you feel about that one?
Well, how about you start?
Okay. I don't remember the Pirate Lord's name, but I, for some reason, was like, I kind of like this guy.
Okay, so me too. And
Okay.
for some reason, for any of you who are anime fans, he definitely came off like, oh gosh, I'm putting myself on the spot now, but like one of the pirate lords from One Piece in the One Piece live action anime. I don't remember his name now that I'm trying to like think about it, but he has like the really big sword. It's the actor that also plays the devil in Lucifer, which is like a TV show.
I've heard of that show.
But like when he was like narrating, he had like a piratey accent and things like that, and that's who I envisioned during the exchange.
Gotcha.
So I liked him. I don't
I
know
did
why,
too.
but
I
I
don't know
really
either.
did. And at first I was just like, this can't be the love interest. No.
I thought it was. I did too. I was like, is this her love interest? That's interesting.
Because I had no idea. So it's like, is this like an enemies to lovers kind of thing?
Yeah, I for some reason was like, I can get behind this guy. I don't know why. Maybe for you it's because you read sometimes like the dark mafia romance, so maybe that's
I really like the enemies to romance trope. So that's
yeah.
probably why.
Yeah. What'd you think of the mission? The fact that like they were sent there under false pretenses. Because they were sent there because Ben, the thing that happened with Ben, right? Or did they find out Ben died afterwards? No, it was before. Yeah, that's why they're sent there, because Ben died, and then they went there because they were told it was the Pirates Lord's people who killed Ben. But it ended up being that it was they were getting slaves.
Yeah, I do remember that. And the fact that they like set them free.
I know, that was crazy. That was insane.
Well, I was like, I mean, she's a hand for hire, so like, what is gonna happen here? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of when I got like on the edge of my seat a little bit and kind of s- just like dialed in. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so Kara and I talked about this, and something that I'll mention at this point in time as I start talking about it, I probably missed a lot of details. I have actually re-listened, quote unquote, to the first three books three separate times
Oh my goodness.
because I actually listened to the entire book twice, but that's because I fell asleep while I was listening to it, and the next thing you know, I had finished it.
I remember you
Yeah,
telling me
so
that.
that's fun. Um, and then the second time I went through, but I really, really had to listen and not do anything. A lot of the times I can read a book, I can listen to a book and on audio while I'm working or editing pictures or something. And this book, for some reason, I don't think that it's the narrator. I think that it's just the content in general and the way that the books were separated and the chapters were. I could not, like, for the life of me, there would be like moments where I'm just like, wait, what's happening? What's going
Yeah.
on? I'm so
Have
lost.
you, when you read her other books, were you listening to them or did you read them?
Uh, like Akatar and
Crescent City, yeah.
so Crescent City, I did both. I like hybrid it. But
Okay.
when I was listening, I had the book in front of me, so it was like co-reading with it. And
Mm-hmm.
then Akatar was half and half. And so I read physically the first three books
Okay.
and then listened to the other ones.
I think with Sarah's writing, she's definitely an author where you need to read it more than listen to it because she does pack a lot of detail in there that is easy to miss.
Yes.
So when you read the third Crescent City book, I'm gonna warn you just like now, you need to read it. Don't listen to it because there's a lot of back and forth with it.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know because I told myself I was going to get through this entire series before I picked up that third book.
Yeah, I would definitely read that one. It's a honker of a book.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna actually physically read the rest of this series because of how much I feel like I missed just by listening to
Mm-hmm.
it. And if I do
Yeah,
listen, I'm gonna co-read with it.
yeah, and I'm sure, especially in the actual first Throne of Glass book, that's where she's going to be building the world too. So you're going to want to not miss those details. I mean, you kind of understand it now because this is the prequel to it, but
Yeah,
anyways.
it is kind of interesting though because as you're reading, I know that we're kind of getting a little off topic. We just talked about the first book, but uh, there's a big debate, and I know we touched on this when we first started deciding that we were going to read this about the order in which to read this specific book.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is technically the prequel. So we
But it isn't.
decided to read it in like timeline order, not release order.
Yeah, because she released this one last.
And so a lot of people read it after the third book, or is it
I
after
don't
the
even
second
know.
book?
There's so many different ways people read this series.
I know, it's kind of insane, but I kind of can understand a little bit. After reading this book, I anticipate a couple of things to happen throughout the series, and I'm actually kind of excited to see if my theories are correct.
I have no idea because I literally don't know anything that happens in any of the other books.
I don't either. To be completely honest, I have zero clue. But I think that that's why I'm sitting here and was like, okay, what about this book do I think is going to like be projected into other books? And so I do
Mm,
think that at some point they'll reference Sam.
yeah.
And I think that Selena and some of the stuff that she does is going to really be driven
Uh-huh.
by her interaction with the king and Sam and
And a
the
Robin.
assassins, like,
The
guild.
guild, the Assassin's Guild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Rowan's gonna be a part of the series. 'Cause she hate that guy. Okay, let's. So, was there anything you didn't like about the Pirate Lord book novella?
I mean, no, not really.
Okay.
Was there anything on your end?
Um, no, I liked how it ended though, with like the suspense of her. I didn't like the fact that she got beaten up, but the suspense of it, like
Yeah.
Sam like screaming like I'll kill you if you don't stop this, because that's where you start to see that Sam actually has feelings for her.
Yeah.
So, um yeah, I liked it. Okay, let's go to the next one. The Assassin and the Healer. This one was super short.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really remember this one too much.
Basically, this one was where she was at the bar. It was the in between of her traveling to the desert to go with the like the monks, basically the monk assassins. And she was at that bar and the girl was working there and she was gonna get mugged and she like killed the guys who were gonna mug the girl.
Yeah.
And she left her the money that she needed to get out.
I remember this now.
Yeah. It was super short. I think honestly, for me, that was one that like it showed her character of like being caring and wanting to help like another female, but I felt like it was kind of just filler.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't really remember it all too much because I didn't feel like, other than character development, that it
Mm-hmm.
was very. It didn't really add too much to the story
Yeah.
in the like grand scheme of all the books
Mm-hmm.
together.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I think we both say that for me that one was like un
Yeah, it was more like a deleted scene rather.
yeah. Yeah. All right, let's move on. That was quick. The Assassin in the Desert.
Okay, thoughts. You give thoughts first?
Honestly, this one was my favorite.
Oh, okay.
I loved um her. To me it was like her awakening moment. Like she was just like betrayed by a Robin. And that's when she's like, okay, to me, this is when she was like deciding, okay, maybe this really isn't for me anymore. Like to be with him and be under his guild because he wants these slaves and I don't agree with that. And she's like, to me, it's like her internal struggle of why am I still an assassin? And then she meets um, the leader, the monk assassin leader, the silent. I think they're called mute or silent. I don't think they're called monks, but whatever. um, and he's a nice guy, and his son is a nice guy, even though they're these badass killers. They're like still nice people, and they're treating her with respect. And so to me, that was like her awakening of okay, I still want to do this, and there's still good people out there. I just need to find them.
Yeah, like a good like pivotal point for her in
Yeah.
her character and how it moves forward for sure. I agree. I felt like for me, I was like not surprised about the betrayal and all of that just because I mean, they're part of an assassin's guild. Like, what do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like where I'm at, right? And plus, at some point, I feel like somebody within the guild has to play a part there for a good book. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but Is this when...
This was when my eyes were bugging. When I called you and I was like,
Yeah. Is this the same book that she, like, pays him off? Or is that the next one? To get out.
pays him off. I don't remember being.
She, like, emptied her bank account to get out of the guild.
No, that's the next one.
See, they all kind of run together. That's the problem with listening.
Well, technically, it's the last one where she ends up paying him. But this is where she gets the money to be able to do it.
That's right. And so he knew that it was there too. And so after this, he just continues to just like poke and prod her and essentially just like forces her into a position where she's like just miserable.
Because this is where she gets the money and she gets the recommendation from the head guy in the desert. Yeah. I also, like, I had a feeling it was the other girl who was going to be the betrayer there. What made my eyes bug was how she tried to, like, I was bugging because she killed the poor guy. Not Selena. I don't remember the other girl's name, but she, like, killed her boyfriend. And I was like, that poor guy did not see that coming. He was in love with her. He sounded so sweet. And I was just like, ugh.
He didn't deserve it.
He didn't. Because, like, when she asked him, she asked the girl, she was like, did you kill him? And she's like, some people just have to be sacrificed. I'm like, oh my god. The poor guy. She didn't really like him.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
it didn't surprise me that it was her because she even said she had worked there for so long to get the head guy's attention and to work with him. And he so quickly worked with Selena that she felt betrayed. So I wasn't shocked that it was her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm kind of hoping that the son is in the Throne of Glass series because I really liked him. Even though he was silent. But I really want him to be like one of the characters that is mentioned. Or maybe brought in as an important character.
I could see that.
Yeah. Okay. Assassin in the Underworld. This is where they get hired to kill the one guy by his ex-wife, basically, because they were told that he was going to be bringing slaves, but in the end, it actually wasn't him, it was the girl.
Plot twist.
Yeah,
On
and
a
Sam
plot
was
twist.
killed. And Sam was killed in this one, and I was so sad. I literally was so... I had a feeling that something was going to happen
So
to
then
Sam.
this is the one that she pays off her debt. Like, not her debt, but she essentially empties her bank account to get out of the guild. Her and Sam, like, essentially move in together.
Yeah.
And-
I think at the end of this one is when they find out that... At the end of this one is when they kill the guy
Yeah,
that they're
because
supposed to kill.
Sam took a contract to
Sam took a contract
essentially get that money back.
Yeah, but that's in the Empire. Sam dies in the Empire, which is the last one. I had them mixed up. I'm apologizing.
That's
is
why I
when they
was like, I don't think it's this one.
No, you're right. I was wrong. Sorry, guys. This is where they just kill the ex-husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but
And
this is like this is the whole book that like moves up to that last book where Sam does die, and that
Yeah. 'Cause
gave
he
me the
tries to kill,
feels.
yeah, he tries to kill the big contra guy. Anyway, okay, so the Underworld. We gotta talk about this before we talk about Sam. This one, I was shocked that I was, and I was shocked as I was reading it, and then when I was thinking back of, okay, that it does make sense, that Arobin still betrayed them, because clearly he was still pissed about what happened back with the Pirate Lord.
Yeah, clearly. I
Because
mean,
he
that had to
obviously
come
didn't
back
trust
to
them.
bite them in the butt, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was kind of upset with Selena when she was mad at Sam for like helping out with her enemy. Sam helped, like, had to be on watch of the girl who was an escort, basically.
Hmm.
Whatever they called them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I remember expressing outward irritation in those moments. That just because for me that was just like, okay, this is dumb girl shit.
Yeah. Because clearly, as I'm reading it, I can tell that Sam doesn't want to do it. He's just being forced to.
Right.
Because I wanted this, like, big reunion of them seeing each other again. Because, like, she talked about missing Sam in the desert.
Hmm.
And then it's just, like, it was so anticlimactic when they saw each other again. And she was immediately pissed at him because he spent the whole summer having to watch the other girl.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh
like,
man,
ugh.
how dare I do what I'm told?
Yeah, because he, like, I think in his mind, obviously he's not a real life person, but in his mind, he probably was like, okay, if I defy Arobin again, he's gonna do something to her. Even though she's far away, he's gonna do something to her to punish me again. Because he even told her his punishment was him being forced to watch her get beat up.
Yeah.
So he probably was like, I can't do anything stupid.
Right, like I'll just be in torture and do this thing that I know will clearly make Selena mad
Mm-hmm.
to protect her.
Yeah. All right, last one, the Empire. This is the one where Sam dies.
Yeah. So, even though this was very upsetting, okay, even though I knew that it was gonna happen, because,
Yeah, I think we all knew something was going to happen with Sam.
but, uh, this one was the one that was my favorite, but that's just because it triggered the feels in me. And I remember like when she just kind of like turned and was just like, "Let me see the body." And I was just like, "Oh no. Oh no." And then they talk about her like essentially just like laying next to him and
I know.
she's
Ugh.
like, "I'm never going to leave him." And then she wakes up in her own bed. And I'm just like, "Oh my god, my heart."
Mm-hmm. I felt so bad. Because, like you said, I knew something was going to happen to him. I didn't know if he was going to end up being a betrayer. Because she'd been betrayed by everyone else in her life.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was also going to be that or he was going to die. But I knew something bad was going to happen with him.
Yeah.
And it was just sad because she, like, you're reading her, like, he should be home by now. He should be home by now. I'm going to go check on him. No, I'm not going to go check on him. And then she comes home and Arobin is there. And it's just like, oh.
I know. And then I'm just sitting here and like as she's just like pacing stuff, I'm like, "Come on, you dumb girl." Like clearly he something's going on here because he wouldn't be this late. Why didn't you go? That's
Mm-hmm.
part of, but I mean, then she also probably would have been tortured, so that's probably not the greatest, but also to just know that like he literally was tortured all night
I know.
just breaks my heart.
It was
Um,
so sad.
and then of course she had to be stupid and just fall into the trap because of her blind rage.
I know. And then Arobin was the one who orchestrated it all.
Shocker.
I was like, this guy. That's why I think he's going to be in Throne of Glass. because I feel like she's going to find out that it was a Robin who orchestrated it all, like who paired up with the guy in the end
Yeah. I look
for
forward
her to get caught.
I look forward to him having a like Joffrey from Game of Thrones style death. I want it to just feel good
Do you want it to be like
when he dies.
the King of Hybern type situation from ACOTAR?
I want her to get her revenge, and I want it to be a slow, methodical, painful one for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to hit the gutter.
But I think Selena needs to get her emotions in check
Hmm.
so that she doesn't make any more stupid mistakes.
So at the end of the physical book, it gives you the first chapter of Throne of Glass. So did that happen here with you when you were listening to it?
No.
Okay. Basically, do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
I didn't read all. I'm going to tell you where it starts off. She's in. It's like, I don't remember how many years into her sentencing it is. I think 7, maybe? I think
Ooh.
it's like she's been there for 7 years. And that's where it starts off.
Okay.
Is her in prison. So. I actually was like, okay, I actually want to start reading this now.
I know, like, so she did such a great job that if you decide to read the novella and you're just like, all right, this will determine if I like dive in, she did such a great job at the very end of this book, leaving you just enough information to where you're just like, well, now I gotta know because there's a ton of pages between this and the very end of the entire series. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, she wrote it in a way where it's like, if you're a reader like us who haven't read it, it's a great backstory to give you just a little sprinkle of something. But she also wrote it in a way for the people who have already read Throne of Glass. And it gives you a better insight to probably who she is as a character in that series. So she wrote it, I feel like she wrote it in a really good, that's why I gave it 4 stars, because she wrote it great for both type of readers.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I did 3.5, but that's just because I listened to it. I guarantee you that if I would have actually read it, I may have rated it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it that.
Yeah, totally. I think that's fair that you docked it a little bit because of the book. Because some people like only listen to books.
I do
'Cause,
wish that Goodreads had the ability for me to mark it as like read audiobook instead of just read,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because then I could also keep track of like all the books that I've read on audio or on Kindle or in physical. I knew that I could make my own shelves, but it would just be nicer if it was just part of the drop down.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
I don't know.
All right. So we liked this one. I definitely would suggest you to add this to your TBR shelf. 100%.
Yes.
If you are into fantasy,
If you
this
like
is
Sarah J.
labeled-
Maas.
Yeah, it is also labeled as young adult. And it does say there's romance in it, but it's not like...
It's not like
is not
ACOTAR.
like no, and it's not like Crescent City. Mm-mm. So, that's why it's probably labeled as young adult, because there's like kissing. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And I liked that because it gave a little bit of a break from her other stuff.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
it kind of shows that she's able to write a great story without smut.
yeah, and I think that's great for an author to be able to do that. You can write with or you can write without, and you can still have a great story.
Yeah. So not only would I recommend picking this book up and reading it, especially if you like fantasy, um, but I would also agree like that I will be picking up the next book. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
I can't necessarily go to talk about in what order I would read them yet. That is going to be, I guess, a after I read the series update.
Yeah, yeah. Which we could totally do that in the far future because there's like 7 other books. So,
And they get really long.
okay, so let's talk about our next read. Do you want to say what the title is?
Um, I don't know what the title is because you didn't put it in our current read.
Yes, I did. I put it in current reads. Did I not send it? There you go. So sorry. I had it in the message part. I just had to press send.
Pardon us while we cackle at ourselves. So, the next book that we're going to read is The Untold Story of the Rise and Fall of Disney Channel's Tween Empire, Disney High, by Ashley Spencer.
Yes. And there's literally nothing to give away who is mentioned in this book, what shows are mentioned in this book. Literally nothing, because it just says Disney High. Like, it literally just says the cover, and Disney High is in different colors.
Well, it's like it's colorful, but it looks like the lettering that you would put on like a Letterman's jacket. And
It
so,
looks like the Stony Clover lettering, if you know what that is.
yeah. So, I mean, just based off the title, though, I'm so excited to dig into this book. I haven't really looked up anything because I want everything that I dig into to just be like the first time that I'm seeing or hearing it.
Yeah.
So, I'm
Who is who? What actor or actress or what show do you want to be talked about in this book? So, background for Chris and I, we loved Disney Channel growing up, and I was obsessed. Like, I would say, Chris is probably going to back me up on this. I'm one of the very big High School Musical fan. Love that movie series. Obsessed with the whole movie. All 3 of them. I went to the concert after the first movie was out. I was a big Chad fan. I was not a Troy girly. I was a Chad girly. And so for me, that is what I want mentioned in this book. I want something mentioned about High School Musical. That is what I want in this book because I was just so in love with that.
uh
But if they're not, then I would want Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus.
yeah. So, that's one that I kind of expect to hear about in this book, but I'm also thinking about Wizards of Waverly Place.
Mm.
I was like,
Especially because they just came out with the sequel
yes.
on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's which I have not watched. I'm a little nervous, to be honest.
I am too. And then was that? I'm like trying to look up and see if obviously not all of them are listed here.
I'm
Um,
wondering if Lizzie McGuire would be in here,
is Lizzie
or that's Sir
McGuire?
Raven.
Those are
Yeah,
I
Lizzie
knew.
McGuire is Disney.
Oh, yep, it is. Hannah Montana, Lizzie McGuire, even Stevens. That's
Are you
so
looking to say
Raven.
what?
No, I did.
Oh,
I'm just
you're just
listing
looking up
off.
Disney shows.
Yeah, from like my childhood, I guess. Corey in the
mine,
house.
because I ended up having to watch what you guys watched.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm excited because
Yeah, I think
Disney
that this
was
one's
like
going to
a
be
big
good.
part of our childhood. So, but
Yay.
that is all for today's episode, guys. Hopefully this next one will come out a lot quicker. And, we don't know because we're gearing up for Thanksgiving and the holidays.
It is
so
the holidays, so we'll try our best, but forgive us if it is like the new year. Oh, so I am traveling to Kara for Christmas, and I think that we're going to try and record while I'm there. So...
But we hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I know everyone doesn't celebrate, so just hope you guys have a wonderful
holiday
fall
season and a good end to the year if we don't check in before then.
Yeah, and we hope you meet all your book goals. I met mine back in June, so it's fine. All right. Have a good time, guys.
Bye.
Good night, whatever it's called. Okay, bye. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the To Be Read podcast, where we talked about The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Join us next time as we discuss the untold story of the rise and fall of Disney Channel's tween empire, Disney High, by Ashley Spencer.